During these pandemic weeks, what we've been doing is what many other churches and parishes have been doing throughout the diocese in this country. We've been live streaming many of our services, and at least every day, several times on the weekend at each of our parish churches. And that's been a great comfort to many people. But what we've also been doing is trying to reach out to people in non-technical ways. So we now have the ability for our parishioners to phone in to our Mass and listen to Mass from their landline phone. One of the things that I've heard from parishioners during this pandemic over and over again is their desire to receive Holy Communion, their longing for the Eucharist, their desire for communion with God in that physical way that we have as Catholics. And I was reflecting this week because I've been reading a little bit more from St. Faustina and St. Therese this month. One of the things they both seem to have in their writings is a vision of what it might be like for people in purgatory. And in their visions, they ask those people what their greatest suffering is. And the response in their vision that they get is that they have a great longing for God. That's their suffering, a longing for God. One of my hopes is that when this pandemic comes to an end and we're able to be together once again in our churches, receiving Holy Communion and celebrating the Eucharist, that we'll continue to have that longing for the sacraments, longing for communion with one another and with God, longing for the Blessed Sacrament, longing for Holy Communion, that taste of heaven that we should all be seeking and longing for regularly.